Vladimir Klitschko and Hayden Panettiere, fiancés, here in the arena watching tonight. A lot of stars in the theater at Madison Square Garden, but physically at least, Vladimir's the biggest.
Listen, Mog, he's dying out. I need that good jab from me. When he gets close, give me those short shots we worked on. The uppercuts and the hooks, go to the body. Okay? Keep those hands up. Touch him, just touch him. Hit him with that last shot real hard. Okay, together.
We mentioned that Abel Sanchez is not working in the corner with Mike Perez tonight, and his assistant Ben Lira is the one who is helping Perez through the fight in the corner, while Abel stays back in the dressing room with his star client, Gennady Golovkin, to get Golovkin ready for Curtis Stevenson. The main event still to come. Harold Letterman, how do you have it through the first three?
Okay, Jim, I've got a 2-1, 29-28, Mike Perez. You know, Jim, Magomed is the kind of guy that starts slow, and I think he started slow in his fight, and in the first 2 rounds, I thought Mike outworked him. But in round 3, Magomed did what Magomed does. He started to land those killer shots like that. I mean, yeah, he's a guy that swings for the fences with every shot he throws. And in the 3rd round, I thought his power shots just did a little bit more damage than Perez's shots. 2-1. Mike Perez.
CompuBox numbers could scarcely be more equal. They both landed 29 punches in round 2. They both landed 33 punches in round 3. Perez threw 80, Abdusalamov threw 84.
Mike Tyson gave a lot of people the wrong idea about what a heavyweight knockout artist, pressure fighter looks like, because there was such an immediacy to Tyson fights. Ding, ding, round 1, he ran at the guy and attacked him. Historically, heavyweight pressure fighters especially start slow. I mentioned Joe Frazier earlier. Rocky Marciano is like that and starts smoking as the fight goes on. And Abdusalamov has smoked more and more each round.
George Foreman in his first career started very fast. In his second career, he started slowly and built the tempo throughout the fight.
Well, he was a little bit older in the second part of his career, but that's what made Mike Tyson so fascinating. He was such a quick guy to be that small power puncher, and that's what people wanted to see, because he was a deadly weapon from round 1 on.
Abdusalamov is making more and more contact, and by our eyes, it appears the contact is meaning more and more as we go along. Big right hand by Abdusalamov, body shot by Perez.
I don't know if Perez wants to trade hooks with Abdusalamov like that in the middle of the ring.
I don't think he wants to trade lefts with Abdusalamov, especially looking at Abdusalamov's daddy's hands yesterday. His daddy has a set of bear claws on the end of his wrist.
I've never seen bigger hands.
I've never seen a pair of hands like that in my life. Great body shot
by Perez. Tremendous body shot right on the belt line. Momentarily stops Magomed's momentum.
That'll take some of the sting off a guy's shots.
I don't know.
Big left hand by Abdusalamov. And a body shot of his own.
It reminded him to go to the body now.
It's a sign of a fighter, too. You got me, I want to get you back, only worse.
Exactly right. And he's throwing 2 or 3 punch combinations, which is beautiful for a heavyweight.
They're putting on a show in the small room at Madison Square Garden. We're about to finish round 4, and Abdusalamov has never been beyond part of the 5th.
Abdusalamov, and like I said before, these guys are taking some really good punches. You hear me?
Perez showed a huge chin in that round, in which, in power punches, Perez landed 9 of 33, and Abdusalamov landed 27 of 47. He landed his power shots at a 57% clip there in the 4th round. But again, Abdusalamov has never, as a professional, fought beyond part of the 5th round.
Samson Lefkowitz, the finder of international boxing superstars.
Manny Pacquiao, Sergio Martinez, Magomed Abdusalamov.
Compares Abdusalamov to Ike Ibeabuchi, the undefeated heavyweight contender who's imprisoned in his prime and never really got to fulfill his career's promise. But like Ibeabuchi, he's a big guy who throws with power and moves his hands in combination, which is rare for a big heavyweight.
And Abdusalamov has done that just the same. I don't know if his skill is all the way as good as Ibeabuchi's was, but he definitely throws in combinations, and he definitely has a lot of power.
Fights we never saw but really wanted to. In the vein of, say, Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao, Ike Ibeabuchi versus Lennox Lewis.
That would have been the fight.
That was the holy grail for a while.
Mike Perez is gaining confidence here. You see him just lick his tongue at Abdusalamov.
Well, Abdusalamov appears to me, at least in this round, to be tiring.
Yeah, Abdusalamov is not tiring. I think he got caught with some big punches early.
Okay.
Like that. And I think they're making him keep his hands at home a little bit more. Perez has really tagged him with that right hook a couple times this round.
So it's a seesaw fight. Momentum going back and forth from one guy to another.
The story of this fight is uncertain. Is this the story of Abdusalamov's superior kind of willpower, overpowering, eventually wearing down Perez's superior skill? Or is it the trained amateur who's been more rounds and deeper into professional fights, outworking and outlasting the younger or less experienced opponent? It's unclear at this moment what the story is.
I tell you what, you got two really good heavyweights in front of us, two of the best that I've seen in some time now, and it's a wonderful fight that we're having, so I'm very appreciative of it.
CompuBox numbers on total punches landed. Looks like the statistics from a tennis match.
Oh,
Perez on 138, Abdusalamov 136. This has been Perez's round. After the last round was Abdusalamov's round.
Remember this, everybody? Ibeabuchi and Tua are on a higher level. Holyfield and Bo. Remember what a good heavyweight action fight looks like?
You know what, though? This fight here is much more higher skill level than any of those fights were.
And still to come tonight, the most rapidly burgeoning star profile in boxing, Gennady G. Golovkin, Triple G, 14 consecutive knockouts coming in. The scourge of the middleweight division says he'll fight anybody from 154 to 169. Tonight, or 68. Tonight, it's Curtis Stevens of Brooklyn. And there's Sergey Kovalev, who once was a member of that same Big Bear camp with Golovkin and the others under Abel Sanchez, now trains with John David Jackson, Abdusalamov's trainer, down in Hallandale, Florida. And there is Abdusalamov's dad, Big Mago, who has, according to Roy Jones and Max Kellerman, the biggest hands they've ever seen.
Bear claws.
Catcher's mitts.
CompuBox numbers average per round through 5 rounds. Perez's average, 29 out of 85. Abdusalamov's average, 28 out of 71. And now, Abdusalamov enters the 6th round for the first time in his professional career.
The left side of his face is starting to really swell. The whole left side of Abdusalamov's face from those Perez right hooks.
What's interesting about Perez is you're not really used to seeing a guy with such a short arm disposition be such a good boxer. He has a great jab, a great right hook, a good left hand, and it's just something unusual.
And he has the calves of David Tua. I mentioned Tua before, these huge calves.
If you knew David Tua, you knew David Tua had one of the best left hooks in the business.
Sure did.
But he didn't care much about overhand right. This kid has the total package.
From the way Abdusalamov's face is swelling, I wonder if it was the orbital bone that was broken instead of the nose.
Well, you saw a reaction. You knew something hurt him when he got caught with that right hook in the first round because he snatched his left hand back to his face and he backed off for a second.
And he's holding his face like there's something wrong with his jaw. He's not closing his mouth.
That's why Jim said that.
Could be the orbital bone, could be the cheekbone, could be the jaw. Could be anything, but it's on the right side of Abdusalamov's face, and it is beginning to distort him in a way that suggests there's got to be big pain there.
Yes, it has to be big pain, and he's not showing any at all. And I tell you what, he just landed another beautiful left uppercut on Mike Perez, and Mike Perez doesn't even pay it attention.
And here's the issue for Abdusalamov now, the story of this fight becoming more clear. He's taking a beating from a superior boxer who's shown the ability to take his best shot can Abdusalamov come up with an even better shot? Can he come up with something to hurt Perez and turn this fight around?
And increasingly, it looks like they might go the distance after my whole opening on camera was about you should go to the bookie and bet that both fights end in
There's a
knockout.
long way to go in this fight.
A very long way to go. But I tell you what, Abdusalamov has some heart. With his face distorted like it is, he's steadily putting the pressure on, trying to land a big shot, and that says a lot for him.
I think I might have said right cheek at one point. Let's be clear, it's the left side of his face that is swelling up like that. And again, the key punch that's causing it is Mike Perez's quick right hook.
And don't get me wrong, Mike Perez has a black eye on his right eye from that left uppercut from Abdusalamov.
But the tenor of this fight has changed in this round because I think Perez feels so in control. He can back off and start to fight the kind of fight he wants instead of taking the same risks he took early. And that's why I think, Jim, it has the sense of a fight that could go the distance now.
Exactly, because Perez is in control.
You okay? What are you saying? Listen to me. When you let your hands go, you're doing good. You can't wait on them so long. What boxing? Boxing. Move on, touch him, touch him. Don't look for the knockout, Magomed. You need to give me them short shots. That's what I need from you, okay? Move your head. You got to move your head more. Don't just walk in. Whether you're moving away or you're coming to him, box your way in. I need the jab.
Is the side of my face swollen? Is it really look swollen?
I need the jab.
He's to his right hook that's been causing problems all night, landed by Mike Perez, right on that orbital bone, or whatever it is that Jim says swole over there, but he hit him right on that spot, and it's not looking good for Abdusalamov right now.
Now, as Abdusalamov went back to the corner, I'm sure that you saw him trying to close his mouth, and seemingly unsuccessfully so. And you heard the Russian interpreter explicating that Abdusalamov was asking the people in his corner, is my face swelling up? It feels as though it's badly swollen. So he's preoccupied with that as he goes to work here in round 7. Harold, how do you have it so far?
Okay, Jim, I've got it 4 rounds to 2. 58-56, Mike Perez. You know, Jim, in rounds 5 and 6, it just appeared that Mago was out of gas more than Mike Perez was. I mean, I thought Mike Perez won rounds 5 and 6, you know, to take the lead by 2 rounds because of the fact that he outworked Mago. Mago just looked tired, but hopefully he'll change it around and, you know, come up with something. 4 rounds to 2, Mike Perez.
It's not that Abdusalamov can't end a fight with 1 shot or that he hasn't won some rounds and maybe could still win the fight, but if you're in his corner, you got to start thinking about this. He is taking a brutal beating the last couple rounds and asking questions like, is my face swollen? He asked earlier, is my nose broken?
And now he got a bad cut over his left eye that's bleeding right down in his eye. So you're right, Max. It might be time to start considering something a little different here.
Even though it's possible he could still win the fight, but he is taking a beating.
A bad beating.
He's never been cut before. Now he's cut for the first time. That's yet another consideration to go with his obvious preoccupation with the swelling on the left side of his face.
And look at this shorter armed fighter out jabbing this longer armed fighter.
Bleeding from the left eye.
I'm very impressed with the talent of Mike Perez.
Well, that's an example of what I used to try to tell Max about the Cuban fighters as amateurs. It just exposes itself when they get to come over and turn professional. That is the top notch of amateur boxing right there in front of you.
It's not an accident that when the Cubans weren't in the '84 Olympics, we won 1 million gold medals.
Hey, they weren't in the '88 either, but I was looking for them, I can't lie. So many of those great guys I used to watch for years because I wanted to fight them. And one particular that comes to mind was Candelario Duvergel. Always wanted to fight Candelario Duvergel, never got a chance to.
There goes a big left hand.
Good left hand by Abdusalamov, his best punch of the round.
Oh, good.
And he lands a right hook.
And look at
Perez
this,
sticks
how he
his
takes
tongue
it.
out at him, but those were good shots.
But you start to see why they don't want to throw in the towel in Abdusalamov's corner, because they know that could happen at any time.
But that's very discouraging to a puncher when you have a guy that looks at you and licks his tongue after you land a big punch on him, and you're known for it as a puncher.
Do you think that John David Jackson and company should at least do Abdusalamov the service of asking him between these rounds if he wants to continue, or is that a bad thought to put in his head?
Don't ask him because he's going to say no.
Or you give him